Hola, welcome to JMS410 Media and Sexuality. I am Dr. Nathan Shea Rodriguez, some though just call me Dr. Nate, and I will be your instructor for this online course. This is the actual first time that the School of Journalism and Media Studies has offered Media and Sexuality as an online course, so you are among the first students to take this course for the first time online. Before we get into the actual course description and expectations and the syllabus and that stuff, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. As I mentioned earlier, Dr. Nate is what you can refer to me as. I am from Texas. I was born and raised there. I got my bachelor's degree from the University of Texas Permian Basin, and I got that in at that time, it was called Mass Communication Studies. I got my master's degree from Kent State University in Journalism and Public Relations, and then I got my PhD from Texas Tech University in Media and Communication. My primary research usually involves identity negotiation and media. So I really investigate different types of minority groups, LGBT groups, racial minority groups, immigrants and refugees, and how they are depicted in the media, and then also how they use media in terms of negotiating their own identity. I have also professional experience. I've worked for Univision for a year, where I hosted my own Tejano show. I also worked in radio broadcasting at a professional level for 13 years. I worked for Clear Channel Radio, and then it was Gab Broadcasting, and then ICA Radio, and it was sold down the line as mini media radio companies do. I also worked in that capacity, in all capacities actually. When I worked in radio, I was on-air talent. I was also selling advertising at local, regional, and national levels. I was doing all their digital marketing. I was programming their music, in charge of a staff, and then I became ops manager, and then I was being trained for general manager when I left radio and decided that I wanted to pursue teaching and be able to kind of make a difference in the way minority voices and representations are amplified in the media. So now JMS 410, Media and Sexuality. As you can see, the syllabus is online and ready for you. I have at the very top, like most syllabi do, my contact information. All of my office hours for this online course are going to be by appointment on Zoom. So you can just email me at the email provided, and I will reply, and we can come up with a time that best suits us both, and we can speak over Zoom and talk about any concerns or problems that you might be having. Now, this is a course that deals with both representations of straight heterosexual people, but also individuals who identify along the LGBTQ spectrum. So it is a course that is also cross-listed in women and gender studies, as well as LGBTQ studies, as well as digital humanities. So it is a course that really tackles a lot of issues from many different aspects, not just journalism and media studies. Because of that, I know that there's going to be a couple of issues that some people might have with some of the content, in terms of it maybe being a little bit too risque, it being a little bit taboo, maybe even it being controversial. So I want to just let you know up front what you're getting yourself into. This is a class that deals with sexual content, so we will be covering that. We will also be covering LGBTQ sexual content. So if this is something that concerns you, or something that you feel uncomfortable with or don't want to do, then it's probably time for you to drop the course right about now. Now, for those of you who have no problem with that and really want to have an open mind and explore all these different representations and misrepresentations of sexuality, thank you for sticking around. So what is expected of you? I am expecting that you devote yourself to the readings and to the viewings that I assign to you. I also want you to look for different types of theoretical concepts that we discuss in the class context outside of class. So look for it when you're watching films and streaming audio and streaming movies and television. Look for those theoretical concepts as well. I also want you to commit yourself to a form of introspection, which means really looking inside yourself and reflecting who you are. A lot of times we ask you to look for identity and theoretical concepts of identity in other people, but not necessarily in yourself. So I really want you to look for these things in yourself, because that's going to guide how you approach different types of critical analysis. This is a class that has a lot to do with critical cultural analysis and discussion, and part of that comes with your positionality as a person. We'll get more into that in the first module of the course as well. And really pay attention to the course content and how it is integrated into real-world applications. I also would like you to participate online through different discussion boards and engage with your fellow classmates. I do ask that you be respectful and courteous in the way that you do interact with your classmates. I do not want at all to stifle your opinion or your voice. I want you to voice actually how you feel, even if it is a counter opinion to what I or other members of the class feel. I just want you to do so in a very respectful way. I also want you to consult with me for any type of clarification that you need on these expectations or any requirements or assignments that we have throughout the course. Like I mentioned before, you can always email me, contact me, and I will get back to you. Now, textbooks and instructional material. I am asking you to get a subscription to Netflix and a subscription to Hulu. In lieu of books, I understand that there is a rising cost in books, but I also want this class to be an opportunity for you to engage with real-world content, for you to be able to take theory and the different things that we discuss in class and actually apply it to the media that we're seeing out there in the real world right now. So I'm asking you to get Netflix and Hulu. One thing I did mention on here is that if you do purchase Spotify Premium for students, which I think is about $5.99, it does come with a free subscription to Hulu, and it also, I think at this moment, comes with a free subscription to Showtime. So this is a way for you to save a little bit of money as well. Any type of actual content that I want you to read, I will provide for you in the form of a supplemental reading, which will be housed in the Blackboard site, usually in the form of a PDF. Prerequisites for the class, of course, is upper division standing. And one thing that I do implement in every single one of my classes is Dr. Nate's double Ds, deadlines and directions. As long as you are following both of those things, you're going to be just fine. Also, when you are contacting me or anybody else in a professional manner, you should use the proper contact etiquette. Be sure that you include proper salutations, such as hello, good evening, good day, those types of things. You are also using a proper title when you communicate with people. In my case, you would say Dr. Nate, Dr. Rodriguez, and that you're also including some type of content. You are able to communicate what you are asking or the content of your message. If you simply send me an email that has no title, no salutation, no subject line, it just maybe has an assignment attached, I'm not going to read it, I'm not going to interact with it. This is to get you prepared for the professional world, so please use proper salutations, proper titles, and the content really needs to convey what it is that you're trying to get across, the message you're trying to get to me as the instructor. The course learning objectives and assessments are listed here in this matrix. Basically, the entire course is a critical cultural exercise in providing students the opportunity to be able to identify and articulate different types of discourse. And through that, you will be able to actually participate in critical analyses of all these different types of mediated representations. Those will be representations of women, representations of masculinity, and representations of individuals who identify along the LGBTQ continuum. As I mentioned earlier as well, you will be looking at different representative media depictions of both heterosexual and homosexual individuals. You will also be able to identify and rationalize different mediated depictions of these types of relationships or identities in terms of which actual representations have different types of societal consequences. Those consequences might be identity negotiation, that might be the way people classify other people, that might be the way people convey stereotypes or think about stereotypes and then act on them. So that is also one of the course objectives. And then also I want you to be able to really interrogate the relationship between culture, pop culture, right? Because we're looking at different types of mediated examples between culture, society, heteronormative regimes of power, and this mediated communication that happens between film and individuals, or television and individuals, or social media and individuals. It's really looking at the relationship between media and society. These are the objectives of the class. I've also listed here all the AEJMC competencies. I won't go over them with you, but you can go over them in the syllabus at your leisure. We include, and we, I say as the School of Journalism and Media Studies, include this on all of our syllabi to let you as JMS students know exactly what competencies we are covering in the course of your education here at San Diego State University, because the School of Journalism and Media Studies is an accredited school from ACEJMC, and these are the competencies you will know. For those of you that are in this course that are from Women and Gender Studies or LGBTQ Studies or the Digital Humanities certificate, this may not apply to you. The grades are listed out here. In order to receive an A in the course, you have to receive between a 96 and 100, A-, 90 and 95, and so forth. I've also outlined here a a table of all the major assignments that are due and the due date right here and how much of the total percentage grade each of those assignments is worth. I also in the syllabus have included just a little bit over each different assignment, what your media chapter reflections look like, your positionality statement, your group presentation, your critical media critique analysis, and then of course, as I mentioned before, deadlines are important to me. It's part of Dr. Nate's double Ds, so be sure that all the work is submitted by the deadline. Anything that is turned in past that time is going to receive a 0, and there are no exceptions. Makeup policy is in line with what the university offers or what the university states. It is any person who is observing a religious holiday or an official approved university trip are the only opportunities in which you will be able to make up any type of works. So I also want to reiterate this academic integrity and online civility policy. I'm not going to read it word for word, but it is here for you to read. And I just want to stress that, again, please conduct yourself in a professional manner. You are more than welcome. In fact, I encourage you to provide some type of counter narrative to what you're reading, to what you're seeing. Provide your opinion in both writing and also in your videos that you post to the class website and the class Blackboard, but do so in a very respectful policy, in a very respectful way. Please, just be kind to one another. If you are needing any kind of disability accommodations, I have provided all of the information here in the syllabus for you to contact the Student Ability Success Center. It is your responsibility to contact them and then arrange for any kind of accommodations that you might need for the class. Also, I've included this website here to the Division of Student Affairs for information on a various range of topics, such as academic success, career development, diversity, cultural awareness, health, issues related to safety and wellness and stress, maybe even campus living and leadership. Throughout the course of any semester, students sometimes find themselves in a situation where they need help and advice and guidance, and this website here has all that information for you. So I encourage you to visit it, browse it, and see what different opportunities and benefits you can get from the information that's on there. Down here, the last page of the syllabus is your course schedule. It is going to tell you day by day what we're covering. It's also going to tell you what module we're on, and it's going to tell you all the major assignment due dates. And of course, anything that is highlighted in purple is when a reflection's due. Anything highlighted in green are major assignments that are due. And then, of course, at the very end of the semester, it has your final, which is a program critique. And all of this information is on Blackboard, where you can find that as well. So welcome to the class. We will start with Module 1, where you will also get another video as to how the actual course itself is being navigated. Thank you so much for your time.